My name is Stacy McKeague. Some of you remember me because I was in some of your classes, and some of you don't, and that's cool. I remember most of your names, but I didn't get around to knowing everyone, unfortunately. Um, I was part of the class of 2012, so I was among the first class to graduate from all 4 years at North, so I've never known any other Lincoln Way to be my home. So naturally, it was kind of sad when I found out that it was closing. Um, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing now and thank you for helping me get there because it was honestly all you. Um, I'm part of the graduating class of 2016 for Valparaiso University, so I'm graduating like 3 weeks from now. I'm a digital media major with a creative writing minor, so I'm concentrating in broadcast journalism, mostly radio, but if I land on TV, I'm not going to complain. Um, and I started off wanting to write novels and then realized that I don't have the endurance to tell a story in 400 pages. So then I switched over to short story, and somewhere along the line, I found a love of poetry, which I'll get to in a little bit. But like I said, I just wanted to take the time to say thank you for all that you've taught us, for everything that you've given to us, all the memories. I still remember making a catapult in physics, and it didn't work very well because my partner and I were C students in physics, but the arm kind of went like that, so we didn't get too bad of a grade. I still remember learning ATP in biology, and I don't exactly remember what it converts to, but I remember solving the riddles, and I remember like the twisted ladders, and I remember stuff like that. The Underground Railroad in AP US history, trying to figure out the riddles and getting caught way too quickly and sent to the office where we were held and hoped that our other classmates made it through. North was where math finally started to make sense. Not enough for me to ever be an A student, but at least to be a B plus student, sometimes a B average. Um, Being taught how to look at a problem and break it down, and I remember learning. Okay, well, now this is going to reflect badly on me, but the thing with the exclamation point. um, don't ask me what that's called. I haven't looked at math really in the last 4 years, but I remember having to learn how to play poker so I understood the card hands for the test. And I'm still not a great poker player, and I don't really care to be, but I learned kind of a life skill from math class, other than math, because that's obviously a life skill. Um, and, I remember all the books we read in English class. I actually picked up a copy of Go Set a Watchman because I was first introduced to Harper Lee my freshman year, my very first freshman. I'm in high school, we read classic literature books was To Kill a Mockingbird, and now I'm choosing to read books by Harper Lee and other classic writers, which is not something I ever thought I would do. I was very interested in more modern young adult fiction, but now I appreciate where literature came from. Like I said, I write poetry now, and I'm actually surprisingly more of a formalist. I write sonnets, and a lot of that came from learning how to beat out a rhythm in when we were doing our Shakespeare units and figuring out the iambic pentameter and the hashes and the U's and trying to figure out, that heartbeat uh, cadence, I guess. Um, I'm the news editor for my paper this year, and a lot of that comes from learning how to do research for research papers, learning how to check sources and cite things. We don't use MLA style, but we use AP, which is pretty close. You still have to make sure that everything comes from a reliable source. You still have to make sure that all your facts are straight, because you definitely don't want to get it wrong when your name is in print. Um, Learning how to just talk to people, to interview them, to make eye contact, to have a firm handshake, all those little things that the teachers always said would come in handy someday really actually do come in handy. And like, check that out. That's in large part because of you guys and teaching me the skills that I later took to do things like that. There's so much more that I want to say thank you for. Gym class, my junior and senior year, I took Fit for Life, and I still remember how to figure out what's good and what's not good to eat, what is actual dietary facts and what's just false information. I still, to the best of my ability, get to the gym, and I still try to exercise, pun, what I've learned in that class. So many other classes too, I can't even think of them right now, but I know that I've carried that with me, and they've impacted me and affected me. And so from the bottom of my heart, honestly, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, if I could, for everything that you've done, not just for me, but for all of us. I certainly should not speak for my entire graduating class, but I've definitely talked to enough of them to know that we're all pretty bummed out that this is happening. No one's excited. No one's happy that this is happening. We're all telling stories. We're all talking about the way things used to be. We're bringing up Bosco stick and mac and cheese day. We're talking about the asset of the month. I room with a girl who went to North with me, and sometimes I just stick my head in her room and I say, make it a great day or not, and she knows what to say next, because those kind of things stay with you forever. And I just wanted to say that North itself, the building, it's just bricks and floor wax and lockers that are color coded to match what hallway they're in, but it's really the memories that keep it going, and all the life lessons and all the class lessons. It's sitting in Spanish class, it's going to the dances, it's waiting in line hoping that there's Bosco sticks left. um, it's all the things. It's the pep rallies, it's the after school activities. I was never part of band, but all my friends were in band, and they still mention the drills that they used to do. And I actually, back home, live in an apartment where if you open the window, you can still hear the metronome from them practicing. And it reminds me of my friends, and it reminds me of all the late nights that they spent during the summer just going over and over and over their routine. And then they became one of the best marching bands in, I want to say, the state. I'm not exactly sure, but they were one of the best. And I actually have the assistant news editor for the paper. She went to one of our rival schools, and whenever I mention Lincoln Way, she goes, "You always beat us." And that's kind of awesome to hear. All things considered, she is my friend, but that's really awesome, and it's because of all the hard work from all of the students, because they had mentors and teachers like you pushing them and telling them that they could be even better than they were yesterday. And oh gosh, there's so many things that I remember. I'm still in touch with so many of my classmates, and we all talk about these kinds of things. I remember the blizzard that happened my senior year, and how North was still open because it was just too important not to go. We went every day until the very last moment. I met one of my best friends on the bus at North my sophomore year, and we're actually dating now. And we went back for the fish fry, and we walked around a little bit as far as we were allowed to walk around, and we were talking about, remember this, remember that, I had this class and this hallway, and I had this teacher, and it was like we were 16, 17 years old again, and it was really special. The Lincoln Way spirit doesn't die when they close the doors. It lives on in everything we do, and it's what you taught us, and that stays with us forever. So I know times are hard, and I know that everyone is pretty ticked off about this, pretty bummed out, pretty sad, but it's not really over. It's just a building, but North is still alive, and it's still us, and it's still with us, and for that I want to say thank you.